So today we're going to be taking a look at Arc Commander Havoc, based upon his appearance from the early episodes of Season 3 of the Clone Wars. And again, it's another ARC Trooper. At this point, we've gotten a lot of ARC Troopers in the TBC line, especially this particular sculpt of ARC Troopers. And I think at this point, a lot of us are getting ARC Trooper out. Personally, I'm glad that we have Havoc. I'm genuinely surprised we got him. If you know anything about the Clone Wars line back in the day, the Commander Colt, ARC Trooper Havoc, and Blitz. Of course, Colt was an individual release, but Blitz and Havoc, I think, came in the same pack, along with Clone Wars interpretation of Captain Fordo. That's one of the most expensive sets to date from the Clone Wars line. I've seen that go way up in the hundreds. Unfortunately, I never saw it at the time. I wish I did. I would have gotten it. And of course, at the time, you can't predict the future that these sets would blow up like they did in price. But if I ever do find the set someday and it's for a decent price, I definitely will get it. For the time being, I'm happy having a realistic interpretation of Havoc. And we do have Colt and Blitz around the corner, which I do plan to get. I don't have those two on pre-order. I did pre-order this one, but it was like $20 for this after the shipping and taxes and the initial cost of it. And I think that's just completely ridiculous for a 3 3/4 inch action figure at this point, especially when it's brand new. So I'm hoping to hold out where I'll find Colt and Blitz on sale or on clearance or something like that. So who wants to spend $20 for a 3 3/4 inch action figure these days, unless it was one from way in the past? But that's where we are these days. But let's just dive into this review, take a look at the figure, or we'll take a look at the package here first. So as part of the 20th anniversary of the Clone Wars line, even though this isn't the correct Clone Wars line, that is, it is 20 years now since the Tournikotsky line, which is very surprising because it seems like yesterday I recall seeing that premiere of the initial episode back in 2003, and here it is. It's been 20 years now. Hard to believe. And I love the Tournikotsky Clone Wars. I've mentioned it in reviews in the past. The Dave Filoni Clone Wars I like too. Not as much, I don't think, as the original Clone Wars. There are some problems I have with it, but overall it is pretty good. So I believe that's from the Siege of Kamino episodes that we saw at the beginning of Season 3. I honestly forget what Havoc's fate was, if he got killed there or not. I know Colt did. I'm not sure about Blitz, if he did or not. It's been a while since I've seen those episodes. VC 274. Some of the other figures from the line. I do have the Artillery Stormtrooper reviewed on the channel. If you want to check that out, I'll get around to the Clintonian Raider and the Luke Skywalker probably at some point, and the Scout Trooper with the speeder bike I'll probably get at some point too. I did have those on pre-order, but after sitting on it for a while and thinking about the price of it, I just think that's just too much. $44.99 for that speeder bike and Scout Trooper. So might hold off for clearance on that one. And I'm not going to get Cassian or Cal or Vel. They're just too boring to me, and I don't think really fit with my collection. There's a nice picture of Havoc there, and it's a nice package overall. So for the figure itself, there's really absolutely nothing new about this action figure other than the paint. I have reviewed it was the Umbra Operative, the Lambert Seeker, and the regular ARC Trooper from the Battlefront 2 game. I reviewed those summer of 2022, and this is the same exact action figure. If it focuses in there. But it's the same exact action figure. Absolutely nothing new about this other than the paint. But I figure at this point I have just about every ARC Trooper, I think. I could probably do an every ARC Trooper ever video. But at this point, I just feel like I have to complete the line. But I like ARC Troopers. I just think at this point it'd be nice if Hasbro branch out and maybe start doing more Republic Commandos, for instance, especially since we've been seeing them in the Bad Batch. But we just been getting too many ARC Troopers at this point. It'd be nice to give it a rest for a little while. But I will say one thing I really like about this Havoc here compared to the other ARC Troopers that we've been getting in this sculpt is the paint is really crisp. There's not any errors that I can point out on this. So maybe Hasbro stepping up their game with their quality control for their paint. I really like how this turned out. We did see on the Umbra Operative and like the Lambert Seeker, for example, sometimes the paint can be kind of blotchy. We saw it on Fives and Echo and even Jesse. In some cases, the paint was just kind of blotchy. My Havoc here comes with the same weapons and accessories that came with the previous ARC Troopers. I suppose other than the nice paint here, the other unique feature about him is he has a goatee and the sideburns here. Very unique for a clone trooper, and I like it. So there is a variant of this. Some of the earlier releases that were making its way around Europe and Asia did not have the goatee and the sideburns. He just had the standard, basically the Echo head. So there are those variants hovering around, but at least for the releases for the US here, it seems like every single sample has been with the goatee and the sideburns, which I prefer. Like I said, it gives some uniqueness to your clones. It's not something we normally see. It looks really good. And his helmet fits on really well. The rangefinder here is movable, but unfortunately mine's kind of stuck, and I don't want to risk breaking it. So I suppose it's just going to be staying in place like that. In terms of the articulation, same as the other ARC Troopers. He does have the ball joint to the head there. Kind of restricted by his pauldron, but it's not that big of a deal. He does have hinged shoulders, hinged elbows, hinged wrists. This one goes up and down, and this one goes up and down as well. Hinged torso, hinged hips technically, but unfortunately because of the plastic comma here, you can't really do much with his hips. And I'm not sure if he has a swivel thigh or not. Yeah, he's got a swivel thigh. Again, kind of restricted because of this comma here. I wish they would go to soft goods so that way we wouldn't have that restriction. And of course with this crossed part on his pauldron here, that restricts it even more. But he does have the hinged knees and the rocker ankles as well. And the knee armor here is actually part of his thigh instead of his regular leg, which is pretty unique for clones. In terms of weapons here, like I said, it's the same exact thing we've always been getting. The DC-17s, or the two of them here, which fit pretty good in his holsters here. Sometimes they're very loose. Mine seem to be all right for the most part. They are kind of small, and there are some customs that I have seen on eBay that are 3D printed, and they look really nice. And of course the two DC-15 rifles here. The one fits on his pack, which I really like that feature. I'm glad that these ARC Troopers can carry all their weapons. And I like keeping him in that position, holding his rifle like that, like he's in a parade rest a little bit. Or like he's about ready to draw his pistol there. But other than that, I mean, that's really all there is to say about this ARC Trooper. It's close to the same, almost, except for the head sculpt, or the head paint, I should say, and the paint of his armor overall. Same exact ARC Trooper we've been getting. So would I recommend him for your collection? I would. If you're a clone collector or you're interested in the ARC Troopers at all, I would recommend them. Despite the price, like I said, I paid almost, I think, around $20 for him at the time. It's been so many months now since I pre-ordered this, and it's really expensive, and it's ridiculous how expensive these action figures have been getting these days. But I would recommend him for your collection, even if you have all the previous ARC Troopers in the sculpt. He looks really nice, and if you have a 501st collection, he fits in really nice with that as well. Not sure if he's part of the 501st or not, or he just happens to have similar colors. But of course, in action figure world, you can do whatever you want with your action figures, and I think he fits really nice with the 501st. So anyways, that concludes this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more reviews in the future. There will be plenty more to come. And if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate all the support. And check out that Instagram link in the description as well. There will be more content on that coming soon. I do have some plans for that in the future. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching.